Hey guys, it is March 25th, and I just want to go over these last few trades that I've made here since last night. I took these three little day trade snipes, and I'm going to explain why, and then also go over what I'm going to look for my next trade setup here. Basically, I started last night, I had a short here. What I was looking at here is I had this red box here. I will go into where that came from in a minute here. Anyways, we had this red candle close here, kind of wicked up right to the box. I felt, you know what, this red resistance box is still in play. So I'm going to take a short here. I was actually expecting it to go down quite a bit further. I was expecting somewhere near the 5,800 level, so it never even came close to that. But why I exited my short, I was actually thinking about closing my short right in this general area, but these candles still weren't even closing inside this red box, so it was still acting as resistance, and especially when we got this red close here. And from then you can see that this cluster of candles really held this resistance line here. I was really expecting that to just kind of give way and break down real hard, but it never did. So I had an alert set. This candle here triggered it. As soon as we broke above this yellow line, it alerted me, waited for my 15-minute close, and not only did it close above this little downtrend, we also closed back up into this rising channel that I have here, and I will zoom out and show you that in a second too. You can see here that not only did I exit my short, but then when we had this candle close that was confidently back into this channel, I actually went long. Normally, it's not always the best idea to flip short to long or long to short so quickly without letting something develop, but I felt like this was a bit of a development here. So I was willing to take a shot at playing the upside here, and it did work quite well. I reached my target of this red line, which I will also show you in a minute, and I had an alert set that half my profits had been taken, and then I just updated my stop loss on the rest of the position to just below this red box, which I was stopped out. Since I entered down here, that was still a juicy profit. No complaints there. And unfortunately, I never played this short. I was sleeping, but I did play this long from down here, and I'll go into why I did that. Here I have this green trend line. It's a 4-hour trend line, and right here I was expecting it to dump real hard once again, and the bears never did seize the opportunity. So here we had a couple closes below that were green, but it was still treating it as resistance, especially with this red close here. And I was really eyeing up a short, but then we had another green close, and to me this was just looking like a fake out, guys. When you have candles closing below a trend line that you think is going to be important, but it's not really seized upon, the bears never did sell off there. I was expecting it to be a fake out. I was expecting a bit of a retest of this red line I have going through the box. To play it safe, I set my first take profits at the bottom of the box and then updated my stop loss when that was hit to break even, which that whole trade was about an hour long. It wasn't very long at all. That's the thing, guys, when I'm playing these 15-minute trends, it doesn't mean that I'm going to sit in a trade. Let's say I think it's going up. That doesn't mean I think it's going up forever or a week or days. Basically, when I start hitting my targets, I'm ready to adjust my position and I'm ready to get out whenever I need to. So, yeah, that happened, and now I'm basically just going to be waiting to see what happens. I'll start off by showing you where this channel came from. If I zoom out, here we have a couple touch points, just kind of a bit of confluence along this trend. So I was thinking this channel might be of some importance here, so I was looking to play it. If I delete that, let's go onto the 1-hour chart and I'll show you where this red box came from. Here, when we had this red close here, I was assuming that this was going to be somewhat of a big double top, and I was expecting this to basically dump down to the start of this whole area. again, kind of back down to the 5,800, 5,700 area, somewhere in there. And then what I did, assuming this was a double top, I drew a line just connecting the very top wicks of this area. So I was just kind of under the impression that that might be a tough level of resistance. And actually, we did get a close above that line, and I was actually debating adding to my long position. Glad I didn't. I was already in a good position, so I figured in the end, why add any risk to the position? I was just going to leave it, so glad I did that. And then if we want to see where this green line came from, since that was a major factor in my last trade there, if I go to the 4-hour chart, basically that's the extended line from that triangle that I showed you guys last week, which actually now we might have a rising wedge, which would be potentially quite bearish. If we kind of break below here, start treating it as resistance, we might be in for a bit of a plunge, even if it is just to retest the top of this triangle. You guys remember that one bullish factor we have going here is we take the height of the triangle, move that from the breakout, and the measured move says we're still kind of on target to hit this purple daily trend line, which whether it happens or not, we'll see. It would make sense if it did. It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, the way I'm trading on these smaller time frames is I might have a lot of trades between now and then, and I don't care if that target is actually reached or not. Just something to keep in mind. But if I zoom back into the 15-minute, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'll get rid of a few things for you guys here. Make it a little nicer. I'm going to draw a yellow trend line here, what I'm kind of watching for now. I'm expecting this to play some sort of importance here. If we start getting red candle closes along here, especially if it lines up with the red box here, I'm going to be interested in playing another short trade. As for longs, if we start closing above this line, especially respecting this green line again, I'm going to be interested in longing again, but we're going to have to see as the trend plays out here. For now, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and wait for something to develop. And just be patient, guys, until something gives me confirmations that I want to get into. Right now, this is basically a coin flip for me, so I don't want to get into anything right now. So we're just going to see how that trend develops over the course of the day. Anyways, guys, that's kind of what I have been looking at, what I am looking at. One more thing, I guess if I go to my daily here and go to that purple trend line, that's kind of the line for me that's an important one for the long-term trend. If we can actually close above this purple line, I think there's a good chance that we are going to go for a lot more upside action. So we're going to have to see the way all the markets are reacting these days. We all know that the markets are totally, well, volatile as shit right now because of all the fears, all the uncertainties. But there is a lot of people with money on the sidelines waiting for good reasons to get back into markets. So it's not like it's all doom and gloom, guys. There is potential for the upside too. Or if you are a trader like me, you can play the downside. So anyways, guys, that's just kind of a few things that I'm looking at, what I have been looking at, and how I'm going to continue to play this market. Hopefully make a little money, and that'll be that. Well, guys, stay safe out there. Keep your social distancing. Keep your head on straight. And let's get this crypto.